Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stand Together. Just going to do 17 breaths. So if you're there, let's do it together. 17, right? Because we'll just drop that last breath. 18 breaths is you could disappear when you do 18 breaths. That's the other meditation I'm going to show y'all, where you turn on your light body. But this is what Qigong does. Radical transformation, right? It's a psychological transformation. But your body is the bridge to the transcendental component, right? And as above, so below. So our bodies are all of everything contained in one part of it, because the universe is holofractal, right? It exhibits all the properties of a fractal. All you got to do is observe, right? At every scale, there is the same pattern, right? The same constants show up, the same numbers. For example, the golden ratio, right? So this distance is, well, it's easier to say this distance is 1.6 and this is 1. 1 to 1.6 is the golden ratio. And that's what the Fibonacci sequence approaches, right? It's a sequence that if you divide the next output by the previous, it's 1 to 1.6 every fucking time. And it just gets closer and closer the more iterations that you do on the sequence. So they always use the Nautilus shell as an example for the golden ratio. But if you look at the beginning of the Nautilus shell, it's still kind of fuzzy, right? Still kind of fuzzy. So the first few iterations of the Fibonacci sequence are as far away from 1 to 1.6, the ratio, as you can get, right? And so, right, Fibonacci, the guy who discovered that shit, was just counting leaves, you know? So do 17 breaths, right? If you watch the instructions, so my content is series based, right? It's not just that you come in and watch the latest one, right? You can do that, that's fine. But you get the information you need in the previous episodes. And so if you don't know how to operate the YouTube interface, I ain't dogging. But if you hit videos, right, it shows the whole catalog. You go to the bottom, right? If you're just at home on my channel, it only shows the most recent and maybe a few others. And so just like the podcast, you start from the beginning, because it's also a progression that I make, right? And so to arrive in the middle is to miss the previous steps, and right, and if it's Fibonacci sequence, you don't want to skip those first steps, right? So yeah, it's a bridge. Our body is a bridge to the all, right? The totality. So if you haven't looked at the instructions yet, right, it's your feet are shoulder width, pretty much straight, right? Not out or in. Don't let your knees collapse or go out, right? Push your lumbar out to the back, right? That's how you turn your hips under without flexing your glutes. You just try to, where your spine has bows like this, you invert that. You make where it's concave, like in the lumbar, most people are concave. You try to make it convex. And where it's convex, you try to make it concave, right? And so in the upper spine, it goes out, right? So you push that forward, drop the shoulders, right? make a flat upper back on your scapula area, right? Right. So it's not like this, and it's not pushing down, right? It's relaxed. It's not shoulders forward. It's not shoulders back, right? It's just right there in the middle. And then the position of your arms, right? So I have an injury. This is a busted elbow that doesn't work. So I can't get symmetric, but the idea is to be symmetric. You make a bow. It's not it's not a 90 degree like you want it to be perceived from your eyes, like looking down as if it's a bow, right? So push lumbar out, thoracic in, drop the chin, and extend upwards, right? Not an actual extension, but like a visual intent of you go inside your body and see your spine separating up. So beginning, right? And the breath in is quiet, eyes open. It's not a closed eye meditation, right? Eyes to the horizon, and breathe in from the belly and expand outward on your rib cage, right? So beginning now, in front of the belly button, like you're hugging a tree. Three breaths in this position. Turn out, three more breaths. On the out breath, you do that extension upward. Drop the chin, and like there's a string pulling on your top of your skull, right? Pulling you up. So now middle position in front of the heart. Remember the body position, right? It allows the energy to flow through through your whole spine, right? And your hands, it's like Iron Man, right? Energy comes out of your palms. So this is an inward cycle. And on the out breath, remember, right? That extension is actually the release. That's how you let go. That's what creates the transformation. So now this is the outward energy. So now we are up here, right? In front of your forehead. Don't lift your shoulders, right? Let them settle, but don't press them down. and pay attention to your body position, right? Go inside your body. That's what Eckhart Tolle says, right? To go inside, right? This is that times 1,000, because you have all of these alignments to keep track of. And remember, you bend your knees, right, in order to cover your toes. Okay, so the inner struggle comes when you do 3 rounds of that, right? 5 breaths per position, right? But when you're just starting, that's enough, right? And it's that extension. It's that extension on the out breath, right? Normally we compress and we collapse on the out breath, right? When we're stretching, right? This is on the out breath, you extend upwards, right? And with this gossamer out breath, like it's not, you can't hear it, it's not audible, right? You feel this lightness of being arrive, right? And that is the glimpse of the letting go. But if you do this for 20 minutes, right, you'll find that the inner struggle is real, right? And as when you do that out breath and let go, right, then the struggle goes away. It falls away, right? And it's just like when you're stressed about something and you do that self inquiry, is it real, right? This is that Byron Katie technique, right? The work. That shit is badass, right? But she'll have you go through the whole litany of questions, right? And really, it's like all you have to do is just let it go. Just let it go, right? We all are walk around like our life is in danger constantly, right? But in society, in civilization, we are buffered from that. The ego's purpose is to keep us alive in the field, you know, keep us from walking off a cliff, or make so that we're aware of our surroundings, right? And we don't get eaten by some larger beast, right? But the ego's purpose in society, right? It acts like your life is in danger, but it's not. It's just your status that you're worried about, right? So let that shit go, because there's no comparison, there's no competition here, right? The stratification of society is the artificial construct that's been placed on our mind, right? Um, and that doesn't diminish achievement, right? Because when you yeah, so my connection at the most crucial moment, right, goes unstable. But here I am back again. When you stop defending your psychological sense of self, right, that's when you're in flow state, right? And that's what this training gives you a glimpse of. And not only that's the most important thing, right? There's no system that can allow you to be aware. You become aware, right? And but this will give you the glimpse, and as an added benefit, it strengthens your ligaments, right? Modulates your metabolism so that you digest better, and makes you stronger, right? You do that for 20 minutes, your legs are shaking, right? Your shoulders are fucking burning, right? and you have this mental and energetic healing happening, right? So when my shoulder is partially separated, and recently it's been really bad for like months, but when I do this consistently, while I'm doing it, it'll pop in to its place, right? But all the ligaments are tattered. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably never get surgery, but I'll just strengthen my shoulders, all right? And it doesn't stop me from pole planting, right? And it doesn't stop me from playing soccer, and it doesn't stop me from fucking playing tennis and ping pong, you know? Uh, so, right? It's no big deal. But this psychological transformation, that is what's required for us to invert our conception of value, which is we have an inverted conception of value, which is which stratifies society, right? Which is um, the uh, scarcity model of value, right? And so our whole economic system runs on this, and we act like it's just natural. And it's actually unnatural for a human being to operate in this fashion. So we've been sold a false bill of goods, and we've been running this program. Uh, this is the matrix, right? This isn't the matrix, despite it being virtual, because we are our uppercase I, right, is spirit, right, is our soul, right? We're not our bodies, but we are here having this experience, and so our bodies are the bridge to our transcendental aspect, right? So when we let go of defense of our bodies, right, our sense of self, right, then we can operate at our highest potential. And so the measurement of achievement, right, if you set out to achieve something that is going to be great, right, relative to whatever else is out there, right, then that is a limiting aspect. That is a limiting goal because it's just what you set out to do. You can achieve so much fucking more when you just let go, right, and let the totality of the all enter you, right, right. You stop measuring, right? You become immeasurable, right? Your output becomes immeasurable because you're no longer comparing it to anything, right? There's no comparison, there's no measurement, right? So this aspect of somebody has to lose in order for someone to win, right? That is the scarcity model of value, right? That there's a limited supply, right? And that winning means you got your portion and someone else missed out on theirs. But the way humans operate, right, is we exchange value in order to live, right? And so living itself, the collective living, just piles on to the supply of value, right? More and more and more and more and more. It's not a limited supply. So you can't sell that. You can't raise the price on an unlimited supply, right? You can't raise the price on an unlimited supply. Who fucking owns the supply, right? We're the motherfucking supply. We are the people, right? So whoever's raising the price on that has us in servitude. So how we break free of that is to right, that is the matrix. How do we break the matrix, right? The matrix is not a program. It is a program, but it's not a program that renders all of this stuff before our eyes. You know, we do the rendering with our quantum computer, right? The program is a false construct built on our minds, right? And the initial conditions for the way that civilization unfolds are here, right? So we don't have to go back in time to change anything, right? Because the initial conditions are right here all the time, right fucking here. So we remove the artificial construct, right? And to do that, you break down your inner conflict. You stop defending your psychological sense of self, and you become more than you ever thought you could be, right? You still are doing things that are valuable to others, right? Because we're human beings. That's what we do. That's how we live. That's how we live. So it's not just becoming a hermit and living in a cave and waiting for your followers to come and fucking bring you rice. Right? That's not it. The stuff that we do is actually an embellishment on creation, right? So art has the first three letters of artificial, right? It is made by us, right? But if it's in alignment with the natural laws, right, with the totality, then it was always meant to be. We've changed the initial conditions of the universe. We've rewritten the code, right? This is how we become super. And so that's the objective. Um, uh, but you, right, you don't set out to create the cause, right? Because that is the forward progression of time, and that is effort of will, and that is a defense of psychological sense of self, right? So you can't be in the moment, right? You can't be operating at your highest potential, right? When you're acting like it's you that's doing it. Don't take credit, don't take sides, right? Um, go after what you're passionate about and do it from a sense of the impossible is achievable, right? Uh, and so this is what this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I've been drawn to do, right? Um, and I have all of these other gifts that I want to share with y'all. But one of them I've been working on is to be able to say these things and to be my authentic self in front of you guys and not try to like hide anything, even though I still get nervous about certain things, you know. But the awareness is a switch, right? Awareness is a switch that you just flip on, and it gets flipped off all the time, and you got to be like, I got to flip that shit back on, right? Which is just letting go, like stop fucking stressing, right? And it's been hard for me. It's been really fucking hard, right? My life has not been easy, and it's not a comparison, right? Who feels it knows it. Who feels it knows it. A lot of people have way worse situation, but so that has been my obstacle, right? Is to um, get over whatever I think has happened to me, you know, in the past or whatever. And so the time is now. So no holds barred. The impossible is possible, right? We can actually flip this shit. We can do it. But yeah, I think that was sufficient for this Stand Together Live. But you guys hit videos on my channel, right? And then go down to the bottom, watch the instructions, right? On how to stand Qigong, right? It shows you, it'll give you the feeling of what it's like to let go, right? When you extend upward on the out breath, you become lighter than air, right? You can get a feeling of the full spectrum of what your body and your mind, your perception apparatus is capable of, right? And once you get the glimpse of that, you want to fucking keep it, you know? And that's primary, right? Letting go of defense of your psychological sense of self, right? Breaking down the inner struggle, becoming the observer and the observed at once, right? Uh, that's the objective. But again, like secondarily, like this Qigong standing, right? Strengthens your ligaments, regulates your metabolism, and bathes your body in its own energetic source, right? It bathes you in chi. It's subtle, right? But some of you more sensitive will be like, holy fuck, right? I can feel this shit. And so yeah, 6 to 7 p.m. or a.m. right? Hit the notification, subscribe, tell everyone, right? Because if we all fucking let go, right, at once, we all feel this together at once, right? This is the 100th monkey, right? This is, we will be changing everything, right? We will be rewriting the code, ever present origin. Change the initial conditions and alter the pattern that is created by the aggregate behavior of all of us, right? We walk around like we're just individuals and we're just doing our thing, but the aggregate behavior creates all of this bullshit, right? Not to say that there isn't wonder and beauty and joy and grace and love, right? Because that's what we're all here for. It's fucking amazing. The graphics outside are great. Fucking great graphics, man, on this game. So yeah, I gotta go to town to pick up my daughter from ballet. So stay tuned, subscribe, tell your friends, right? That if they want to be super, why not? Why not, right? Why not? Why the fuck not? You know? And to stand together, and we can, on aggregate, create a radical wave, you know, of transformation. All right, y'all. Love you. We'll see you next time.